Here is the current coach of the Toronto Raptors. Here's Dwane Casey. Hi, Coach. How you doing?
Hey, Bob and Butch. How you doing?
We're doing great. This is, I think, a first for me. First time the current coach of a major franchise in this city has been joined by a former coach of the same franchise. So I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Well, I tell you what, you've got a guy there that can coach his behind off. He's a good coach, and Butch did a great job in his time in Toronto, and so he's proven that he's a good coach.
We were talking about the obvious kind of stuff, and you're in Sacramento tonight. You first look back with Rudy Gay, and it takes us to the obvious question of what happened. It's too simple to say that the ball stopped with Rudy Gay, and there wasn't, and he was essentially the problem. But there's no doubt, Dwane, that this team has played differently and played better since his departure. Did you, let me ask it this way. Did you see this coming? If, in fact, you were able to trade Rudy Gay, if Masai was going to trade Rudy Gay, did you see that it would create a new opportunity for the other guys that were left?
Well, to be honest, and to answer the question you had phrased it the first way, Bob, chemistry in the NBA, and as Butch knows, is a very fickle thing. Whether it's similar talents, similar ball, guys need the ball in similar spots on the floor, more so than just one guy. And Rudy's playing ability and his skill set were very, very similar to DeMar's. They demanded the ball in the same area, same type of cutting, same type of area. I would say in the set play, they needed the same kind of ball, and when one had it, the other one would tend to stand. So it wasn't Rudy per se as a person. Rudy Gay is a beautiful young man, a beautiful guy, a very talented young man, but his skill set, along with DeMar and also Terrence Ross, you just had the similar guys, the same type of skill set with all the guys. What has happened now with Rudy not being there, and you could possibly say if DeMar hadn't been there, it would probably be the same thing, possibly. DeMar has had a chance to blossom and bloom. Terrence Ross has had a chance to blossom and bloom. And with the ball moving a little bit more and that type of thing, it has helped those guys blossom. Terrence Ross having more playing time has a chance to blossom. I did not see the four guys coming in from Sacramento blending in as quickly as they did.
Right.
But once they did get there, their personalities, their basketball IQ, their skill set, they fit in perfectly. But with them coming in, with Rudy leaving, I didn't really know about the trade until, right before it happened, and neither did Masai. I couldn't get hit Masai by surprise. They had talked about it before, but then all at once it came together pretty quickly. So, but again, with that said, I did not know that the guys coming in would blend in. The chemistry would fit perfectly. Their personalities as young men would fit in as they did. But one thing that's been very prevalent is their basketball IQ. I mean, the guys that came from Sacramento, their IQ has really helped our basketball team.
I want to sit back and let the two coaches talk for a little bit.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I just got a couple things.
Okay.
Everyone's worried, about the game tonight, and you're as the manager and coach, you're worried about a longer period of time, and basically from now, Case, until AllStar break. How do you have it stretched out, in your mind, regardless of what happens tonight, you get on a plane, you got to go play the Clippers, and you come home. How do you have that organized, and what are your thoughts on that?
Well, but you must have been in our meeting this morning, because right now is probably the most difficult time of the season for players. One, you have guys trying to plan out their All-Star break. You try, with DeMar, he's trying to plan out his All-Star weekend. Terrence Ross is trying to, plan out his All-Star weekend in the slam dunk, trying to pick out his favorite dunk. So you got so many things going on in guys' minds that basketball is down the list of priorities. And what we talked about this morning in our team meeting is how we're going to prioritize our time, our thoughts, our energy these next 5 games or 4 games, whatever it is, until the All-Star break. And it starts tonight, possession by possession. It's not the Sacramento trade versus the Raptor guys in Sacramento. It's the Toronto Raptors, the team that we have now, versus the Sacramento Kings. That has to be our first focus. Going in, we'll have a practice in LA tomorrow, a light practice. We haven't had a chance to practice hard because we do have some nicks and nagging injuries going on right now with our guys that they're playing through. So we're trying to preserve that energy with our key guys with the practice time. So our practices will stay light until the All-Star break, and then our schedule will change after that. That we will have some days that we can have some better practices, some more full contact practice and that type of thing. So right now, our whole goal, and my whole goal for our coaching staff is just to preserve energy, get guys as healthy as they can be at this time of year before we go into the All-Star break. And
going into that, regardless of there's enough been written about the trade, even if there wasn't a trade case, you really got this issue with dealing with DeMarcus Cousins tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And coaches normally set up, best scenario, worst scenario, and go through your normal transitions on that. But can you comment to the people that are listening on, your thought process in trying to prepare your team for Marcus Cousins? He is a unique talent. He causes a unique problem with his flopping around and his deep post-ups. And hopefully JV will be up for it, better prepared than he was the last time you seen him.
Mm-hmm. Well, but the hard thing to guard DeMarcus Cousins is his versatility. With Jonas, he's going to pull him out on the floor and face him up and try to go to work. And for us, we prefer him to do that than get deep post position and just muscle, bang, and hit his way to the roll. We want to space him a little bit when he's on the perimeter and almost influence him into taking a challenge two. With a hand up, and they're 28th in the league in assists, but he is one guy that will make try to make a pass or make a play when he has the ball. But most of the time when they have the ball, they're looking to score. So we want to induce him to take that 12, 15-foot jump shot. I think if he misses a couple, he's going to try to put it on the floor. We want to keep a tight paint. We don't want to necessarily double team because he is a good passer. And, if you don't have big bodies coming at him, he can see right over the defense and pick you apart. So we want to play him straight up, to start with. Plan B would be to double team him if he gets it deep, and that is if Amir is guarding him or maybe Chuck Hayes. Chuck Hayes has the best numbers analytically of guarding DeMarcus Cousins, just because of his strength, his ability to keep him off. Plus, he's played with him every day in practice.
Right.
And so he knows his move, and that can be a two-way street, too, because he knows Chuck. But, he has the experience and the strength and the wherewithal to keep him from, to induce him to get close, but yet and still have the strength to keep him off the block. So we're going to mix up different combinations, different people on him, different scenarios where we double team him. We want to front him if Amir is guarding him, and try to mix up his looks. But to stop him is very difficult to do. And again, we want to make sure he earns every bit of it. But if he gets 30 or 40, whatever it is, 30, 25, 30 points, and we cut off everybody else and make it hard for everybody else to score, that's a good night for us.
Well, Sacramento is not one of the easiest places to play in the NBA. It's one of the loudest places. I imagine tonight it will be extremely loud. But there's one last question, Coach, I want to ask you. I've heard your comments talking about you learned how to fish when you were a young man. All right. Now we have lots of lakes to fish in. All right, around the GTA. Okay,
right.
And I really would like for your fans and Raptor fans to hear you. You've worked your butt off, Case. You've been in this business a long time. Don't you want to stay here? I mean, you put this team the way this team is playing, and I know. All right, okay, all right. I mean,
well, I would love to, but I want to clarify that what happened was the guy was, talking about, first of all, extensions and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I told him, there's no way I'm going to talk about that. I'm encouraging our players to talk about, I'm playing for right now. I'm not worried about that. That'll take care of itself every season. I told the guy that, hey, I know how to fish.
Right.
Whether they don't have me back in Toronto, I know how to fish. I can go somewhere else and coach. It was more about that than going somewhere and going fishing. So it was kind of taken out of context. But I tell you what, whether I'm back in Toronto or not, it's a great organization, great city. And again, I'd like to be back there, of course, but, that's something that after the season, Masai and the organization will, they have to decide. But again, I love the way our team is playing. Our guys have done a good job. But again, that interview was taken a little bit out of context a little bit.
Well, that's why I wanted to bring it up, because I think you do want to be here. And I just want to give you a chance to, let people know that was taken out of context, and you're not purposely looking for another place to go fish.
No, I'm happy, and even though Bob gets on my butt every once in a while, I still like Toronto.
Welcome to the club.
Coaches are all the same.
Oh, boy.
Constantly blaming it on me. 40 years I've been around here.
I know it. Yeah. Bob's one of the best. He's one of the best.
So, Lowry, in, out, maybe tonight?
No, he's in. He's nicked up, though. He's nicked up. We have a couple other guys nicked up, but he's going to be in. The great thing about it, Bob, Vasquez has been a star in this league, and he knows Sacramento as well as anyone. We need Cal, but it goes back to what Butch said about long term. I don't want to run Cal into the ground these next couple of games with him being nicked up, because we still have a lot of basketball to be played after the All-Star break.
Well, it's been a really, really good run for the last, I don't know how many, 25 games or so, give or take.
Yep.
Congratulations on that. And it's been a pretty good road trip, too. Let's finish it off with a bang, and we'll watch with interest tonight. Thanks, Coach, as always. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Bob.
Good luck, Coach.
Bud.
Yep.
Okay, buddy. All right,
Yep.
okay. All right, bye-bye.
Dwane Casey, the Raptors head coach.